TikTok's future is uncertain. The app's CEO was grilled in Congress for 5 hours yesterday, and Blockbuster might be headed for a comeback. I'm Jeff Pierre, and this is The 7 from The Washington Post. It's Friday, March 24th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. TikTok CEO Shou Zi Chew testified before Congress for 5 hours yesterday. Lawmakers have national security concerns about the popular video app, which is owned by a Chinese company, and the questions got openly hostile. Texas Representative August Pfluger pressed Chew on his company's relationship with China.
Okay, so it is possible that the CCP, under the auspices of ByteDance, which is your parent company, which you get paid from, has the ability to manipulate content that is being shared with 130 million Americans, yes?
Congressman, I just want to make sure I'm understanding all these questions. I don't disagree with them that there are data risks in general. That's what I meant.
There's a big data risk
But
because
on us specifically,
are there engineers located inside mainland China that work on TikTok? Not Douyin, but TikTok.
we are not the only company that has that.
Are there engineers?
Support for a ban is growing among lawmakers and other Americans. A Washington Post poll found that the biggest decider of who backs a TikTok ban is whether or not they use the app. But Biden administration officials said that banning TikTok would probably require an act of Congress. If you're deciding whether or not to delete the app, there's no clear right answer. But there's little evidence that TikTok poses more of a privacy threat than other apps. A drone strike killed a U.S. contractor in Syria yesterday. That's story number 2. Officials said that the drone hit a U.S. military position in the country's northeast. Some U.S. troops and a second U.S. contractor were wounded. Officials blame militants linked to Iran, who have targeted U.S. troops in the Middle East for years. In response, the Pentagon said it launched airstrikes against facilities affiliated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Number 3, a New York grand jury paused its Trump case until at least Monday. The panel is weighing possible charges against Donald Trump. The former president claimed he would be arrested this week, raising pressure on the investigation. Something else to know here, some fake images that were generated by AI of Trump getting arrested went viral this week. This is another instance of how deepfakes can be used to create and spread confusion. Number 4. More than 1 million protesters flooded the streets in France yesterday. Anger has been growing after President Emmanuel Macron pushed through legislation last week to raise the retirement age by 2 years to 64. Protesters clashed with police in some cities. In Bordeaux, protesters lit the door to City Hall on fire. Number 5. Most transgender adults say transitioning made them more satisfied with their lives. It's one of a few takeaways from a new Washington Post and KFF poll. The survey is one of the largest randomized samples of transgender adults in the U.S. to date. The poll asked about a range of things, like their childhoods, feelings, and lives. The poll found that many have been harassed or verbally abused. They've been kicked out of their homes, denied health care, and accosted in bathrooms. A quarter have been physically attacked, and about 1 in 5 have been fired or lost out on a promotion because of their gender identity. But despite these troubling findings, many say transitioning has improved their lives. Number 6. New laws in Utah will place sweeping restrictions on how kids use social media. Utah's governor signed the 2 bills yesterday. They're some of the most aggressive social media laws passed by any state, and there's some First Amendment concerns. They'll force companies to verify Utah users' age, though it's not clear how. They'll also give parents monitoring capabilities, require parental consent to create accounts, and change how companies use and collect their data. And number 7 this week is a trip down memory lane. Somehow, people noticed this week that Blockbuster's website has been revived. Yes, that Blockbuster, the place where we all used to rent physical copies of movies. Its website now has this mysterious message. It says, "We are working on rewinding your movie." It's not clear what Blockbuster is up to yet, and the message appears to be months old, but the buzz is making people reminisce and hope for a comeback. That's the show for this week. Don't forget, you can dig deeper into the news and the stories on this show by subscribing to The Washington Post. You can get access to everything that's in the newspaper and more by subscribing to the digital version. You can find that at washingtonpost.com/subscribe. And since it's Friday, you know what time it is. The assistant producer of The 7 is Taylor White. The staff writers are Tess Holman and Jamie Ross. John Taylor is our editor. Additional editing by Christina Quinn. Copy editing is by Melissa No and Francis Moody. Mixing and sound design is by Jim Briggs and Justin Garish. Our theme music is by Edith Mudge. I'm Jeff Pierre. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend, and I'll meet you back here on Monday.